Let me just put my borrowed phone on flight mode because the cherry, my phone, and I don't want to be breaking up relationships. But anyway, greetings, beautiful roses and rastas. How are you? How are you doing on this beautiful, beautiful Venus day? Ashe. It's beautiful. Yesterday was super hot, then today started super overcast. But I think I can get some suntan in. Let's get some suntan on our bodies. Guys, today I want to talk about forgiveness. Like it's never been spoken about before. How do you like my throat chakra coloring pencil that I did not plan? And it's just so matches with the blue. Blue and blue, babe. I just took it out of the box. I didn't plan this must match. Okay, so bafuerio. Let's talk about forgiveness. Is it just yet another thing that has been like capitalized upon, you know, in this whole spiritual awakening that we're going through? Because there isn't a spiritual community, you know. There are little factions that consider themselves spiritual, but there isn't a spiritual community. We are yet to build a spiritual community, you know, like how the music industry was a whole effed up thing. It like it got built over years, over decades. It got built into this fallacy, you know. So with spirituality, it's still young. We are yet to build into ourselves into a spiritual community, and it will be, and with true intention, it will be a true community. So forgiveness, from my experience, forgiveness has been it's been a money maker, you know. It's been something that you write books about. Oh, just forgive and move on. And with me, since day one of being on this journey, I was like, I forgive and I forget the whole person, if it's that, and the whole energy. I don't want to see that energy again in my life. But in order to forgive, to truly forgive, I discovered that I had to get angry. I had to allow myself to stop making excuses for the person's behavior, because a lot of us are going through a phenomenon right now where we are having to forgive people who we enabled for many years. So we knew that what they were doing was wrong, whether it was to us or others. We knew that their actions were wrong, unjust, but we were still enabling them. And we were still making excuses for them, for their behavior, you know. And we were still what are the children doing? Yeah. So, like, for example, I had Stockholm Syndrome. I was praying for my abuser while they were abusing me into my adulthood. So, yes, the physical abuse stopped around the teens, I think the last time I got a Varma clap was maybe standard 6. So, in my teens, the physical abuse stopped. Although the person did lay their hands on me now the other day, because they came from behind me and they pushed me. They were like, and they literally came from behind me and proceeded to push me out of the house, and then proceeded to grab onto my hand to try and get money out of my hand with both of their hands. And my daughter had to remind me 90 kilos of weight. So this person is overweight, and they were hanging on my one hand. I had a hot cup of coffee in this hand, and I had this hand with my money in it. And they were hanging on my hand with their whole body weight in two hands. That I even had like a scratch and stuff. So when did the abuse stop? Day before yesterday. So anyway, the physical abuse might not have went on into my adulthood, but the psychological abuse was still there. The emotional, verbal abuse was still there, when you are constantly bad-mouthing someone to their own siblings, and to their neighbors, and the person doesn't even know that this is happening. The person drives past, comes into town every now and then, greets the neighbors, not knowing, oh no, your name has already been dragged through the mud, and it's always done in a subtle way. You know how narcissists are. Oh no, yeah, she is working. So like, for example, the person will come and say, oh, I see your daughter's doing so well. She's got a car. She's working hard and all that. And then the person will make a comment like, let me think. The person make a comment like, yeah, if she can just stay away from the men, yeah, or if she could just take better care of her children, then I'll really be proud of her. But I'm so proud of her. But it's just those things that she must just work on, stuff like that. And pot calling kettle black type thing. That's the thing about gossip that's always hilarious for me, because it's like the pot is calling the kettle black over here, right? So for me, the abuse went on long. I mean, only 2 years ago, I can say I realized, shit, you have Stockholm Syndrome. You're defending your abuser. You're praying for them. You sit and spend your precious time and energy praying for them, manifesting for them, wishing good things for them, wishing that they would just retire to luxury so that they can have peace of mind to heal. Like, that's what I thought the solution was. I was like, you know what? This person, me having to heal in a state of hardship and lack for over the last 10 years of not being working, and doing my best to focus on my gifts and then build a brand that will be able to, you understand, feed me and my children. I would love my gifts to feed me and my children. Later on in the video, I'll show you some of my gifts. If you're new here, you're gonna enjoy that, or some of what I can do with my gifts. So the last decade has been tough. It has been hectic, and I've been healing in that whilst living on the property with the person that was the primary cause of me having to heal. And yet, while I'm in the experience of me healing, while in strife, I am making excuses for someone who's living in complete comfort. Complete comfort. She and her children built up a good, stable business and a double-story house that she's able to sit now and just relax. The shop is rented out. She knows she's going to get rent. You understand? I am making excuses for that. In my suffering, I was praying for that person. If that's not Stockholm Syndrome, then I don't know what is. And so today, we have to talk about true forgiveness and how to forgive. Because I found that to truly heal and get over the love spell I was under from my caregiver, because there's nothing but a love spell. Someone is punching you in the face and you're like, oh, as if they're an angel, you're literally treating them as if they're some angel. The way you behave, it's as if they're angel. I had to get angry. I had to realize that I resent those characteristics. It's what I've been running away from all my life. It's what I've been striving to not embody all my life. From my earliest memory, I've been on this mission to not be how those who abused me were. So their characteristics, you know. So it's little things like happiness hating, jealousy, comparison, gossip, all of that. I always strived to not integrate those characteristics or behaviors or whatever into my character. And yet with all of that, there was a veil over my consciousness that I was still worshipping this being. You have to get angry. Said karma, slap your mama. I wrote a poem. I have one of my poems and that's what it says. Said karma, slap your mama. Now I'm not saying I go slap your mama. It's just like, it's to cover the your mama is the abuser in that specific poem. So who's the abuser? Oppressing governments, teachers, mentors, caregivers, siblings. And slap your mama is stand up for yourself, you know. You don't have to physically go slap them, but you can stand up, you can speak up, you can walk away. Sometimes the greatest self-defense is to remove yourself from that situation. And the amazing suffering that those who were feeding off the emotional release of your abuse and suffering, they are equivalent to starved vampires when you extract your energy. So in my first edition of my poetry codex, I just so happened to now open it on this, and I was like, perfect for what we are talking about. You know, I'm touching my earphone, and I'm like, yes, Jim. I could literally, I felt like Men in Black for a second, and my glasses was, yeah. Oh my God. I just had a moment in my mind. Okay. Let me read this one for you. Yeah, oh my word. Remind me to go and edit my name, because I'm no longer using Flame, I'm using Flamaki. So as I was saying, I'm sharing of my gifts. This is one of my gifts. I received channel poetry. So I'll be minding my business, doing my own thing, and consciousness, creator source, life, existence, Akash just sends me messages. Sometimes you can literally see it's directly from a specific deity, you know, or from a specific group, or you know, like, so it's really beautiful. We can call it channeled poetry. This is the first copy of my codex, True World Order, a compilation of beautiful sanctified poetry, and there's 50 in here. You can purchase your digital copy, or you can purchase a hard copy. For that, I'll have to send you a quote, because I haven't like done any printing, you know. So until I get like a publishing deal, I am self-published. And maybe there's always meant to be. I know one thing I noticed about this age that we're in now is this is the age of the independent artist, where there isn't going to be a middleman scamming artists, you know. I'm sure you've heard at least one horror story of how a musician or artist has been scammed by the record label or by the manager, or you know, somebody. Okay, right. Okay, let me read this one and then I'll see what's that one about. Okay. The gluteus maximus, let it be comfortable. Switch seats with my abuser, down from my pedestal. Stockholm Syndrome realized she was hosting a predator. Thought putting me down would better her. 3-decade trauma bond, so I untethered her. Yo, that storm, I weathered her. Should I read it again? Crazy that there's literally Stockholm Syndrome in this poem. And that's what I was talking about. Wow. Okay. Switch seats with my abuser, down from my pedestal. Stockholm Syndrome realized she was hosting a predator. Thought putting me down would better her. 3-decade trauma bond, so I untethered her. Yo, that storm, I weathered her. Flummocky. Okay. Let me read. Because what I've noticed is that when I said to creation, to the Most High, you take over because me, I'm tired. Literally, I was like, me, I'm tired. You take over. A year later, I left Gautrain, bought a food truck. Since then, I've been on an adventure. Yo, I don't have the food truck no more, but I've been on an adventure. I can write a book I can write a book from childhood to Gautrain. Then I can write a book from Gautrain till present. What a journey this has been. The sacrifices I've been making, and the right sorts of sacrifices, sacrificing bad habits, sacrificing physical items, clothing, furniture that belong to passed on relatives of your ex's family, literally sacrificing physical items and then sacrificing mindsets, sacrificing FOMO, sacrificing the addiction to flesh, whether it be sexual or platonic, whether it be I have to be around people every weekend or I have to always be in a relationship. I've been single and celibate for 3 years, and it happened so naturally. After baby daddy number 3, I was like, girl, I'm done trying to build with another person. I'm done trying to help another person find themselves. When am I gonna find myself? When am I gonna get to know me? I mean, I'm not just like, before I even read anything or listened to anything or delved into any spirituality or craft or anything, my spirit always just told me, listen, do to others as you'd like to be done unto you, and get to know yourself. And it wasn't always easy because society doesn't promote that, so obviously along the way I got how Christians backslide. I backslid off my path to optimal self. Okay, I'm gonna make another video now, and then we're gonna talk about the difference between black magic and witchcraft. Okay, so don't be afraid to express your anger, your hatred. I said to someone, I was like, it's okay to hate people, but you don't spend sleepless nights thinking about them. You don't do a black magic on them. You don't wish ill on them. Hate them. What does hate mean? Hate means I don't like this, so I don't want to see it. I don't like dirt, so I clean my house. I practice order, and I have chaos-free habits and a mindset that I'm cultivating. Despite having etiquette and regality beaten out of me, during my childhood. I was explaining to my child, I was like, I've been teaching myself how to be a woman, a mother, how to take pride in my own, because we weren't taught that as a child. We were beaten to clean, we were beaten, everything was beating. There was no love shown for the task. She expected everything to be spick and span, but it was a violent task to get it there. And then when the place finally clean, we're all sitting there exhausted and drained and miserable. So don't fear emotions, don't fear hate, don't fear anger. Get angry, but angry in a mature way, in a conscious way, in a way that's not gonna ruin your life. If it's done or your freedom and what you get what I'm saying. Punch a pillow, write a letter, burn it, say, universe, take this because I can't stand it. I can't stand this addiction. I can't stand these people around me. They are so draining. Please take them. Like, allow your anger to fuel shit in a good way. If I didn't research a little on Painful Magic, which I still don't know what it is, because it just looks like it's, what is it? I still don't know what's Painful Magic. But if I were to give a true meaning without any research or anything of Painful Magic, I would say it's that it's using a low, dense emotion like anger and hate to feel good in your life. When you say, universe, take someone, that person is going to be taken up to the highest good, and if they survive it, they'll reach their north node and they'll reach their apex, and you'll see them on TV somewhere and you'll be like, yo, that Luata, wow, I'm so proud that you discovered yourself and stopped being a Nwata and didn't hurt any more people the way you hurt me, or whatever the case may be. That's maturity. That's a true sovereign, an adult. As you were Nwata, you were Veilgat, but there's something called psychology, so I know there's a reason why you did that. And I'm so upset that you did it. I'm also upset myself for not listening to my intuition and not, or not seeing the red flags, right? I'm really angry and I'm gonna feel this, punch a pillow, stab a pillow, whatever. Go swimming, whatever you do to release, scream, cry, lay on the floor crying. I spent many birthdays, Christmases, public holidays alone on the floor here, crying like, just take this away. I don't want it, and it works. Okay. So, yeah. Catch me in the next one. Let's talk about the true difference between black magic and witchcraft. Okay.